Good morning, drawing class. We're just going to go over a quick couple of templates to help you with your layout and your design. So on that, we will share screens. This screen is showing you a standard comic book page. This is included in a link in our Google Classroom. This is a US style comic book template. This center area, this light blue line center area, that's where the main part of the book would be. And then you have your bleed edge from this center area to this very edge of your page. Anything that's out here is going to be either trimmed or cut or may not be printed fully on the page. So you're just this internal part is the page. And then of course we have our gutter on the outside. This tells you one of the places that this came from. If you were working in industry, your project title and issue number would all go on top here, and then your page you can fill all this out. You can download this if you want to, or you can just do this in your sketchbook. Just make sure that you label it so I know where it is. This includes your cover, so your cover would also live inside of here. And again, if it has a bleed edge, anything that goes outside of this little boundary is considered the bleed. Rough measurements, this space in here is probably about 1/8 of an inch. And then on the sides, quarter, top and bottom are halves. And that just leaves you with the center. And this would be set up for a normal size piece of paper. The next one I want to show you, oops, not that one, not that one. Close this, close this. Close that, is inside of our page. I've put a link in to all these templates. And these are layouts. So if you want to do a daily strip, I have daily strip layouts in here. These are the base daily strip. Again, you can alter it. Again, up here would be the title of the comic. Down here is where your signature would go. Since this is a worksheet format, you would sign it there if you want to use this template. But this is a standard 4-block or 4-panel standard gutters inside of a daily strip paper. We also have some different options of page layouts. This guy's taking a little bit. Sorry about that delay. This is a standard 3x4. So more traditional comics are either 3x3s or 3x4 panels. And very tiny, thin gutters here. And this would just flow panel to panel, left to right, top to bottom. So your action would happen here. This again is a very traditional style setting. You have some other ones. You are not limited to these settings. The only thing that you have to remember is you're going to have a bleed edge. Anything in the bleed edge may or may not be, quote, printed. You need to have an established gutter between each panel. You need to have established cell walls, but you can do some very dynamic kind of lines and drawings inside of your comics while you're working on it. So this whole page template, these templates are all now in our Google Classroom, and you guys can access them as you need. I can get rid of that one. Some different comics from some of your classmates are up and through here. Some of these are from the Photoshop class. Give you an example. So this is a classic Batman comic. You can tell by the artwork. Really nice clean gutters, good clean cell walls. Sometimes the cell wall fades into the inking because this is an older comic. Your colors are kind of limited in their style. We have a speech bubble here. We have a voiceover. Anything that's just blocked out that the editor would be saying to you is called a voiceover, and those are the voiceover boxes. Sometimes it's explaining what's going on. This actually has a little page number down in the corner because the comic book would have had pages set up. So this is a very set, it's based off of that 12 block, but instead they've merged some of the blocks together to make bigger spaces. And this is a standard classic page. If you look into modern comics have a much more dynamic look to them. You'll get these angle cuts. Sometimes you'll get things that take up several pages at a time. And this is student works. These are graphic students. Students who establish their own comics. So it is up to you now. You should be developing through. You should have made your story idea. You should be through your plot development. You should know if you're doing a comic book or a daily strip. And now you're down to starting to draw. You've already turned in your front, side, backs and your head studies. Your character should be the predominant character throughout the story. If you have anybody added in, you can have guest appearances by other comics. Remember that those are not the predominant part of your theme. If you are collaborating with anyone else in the class, then you can, if you're doing a comic book, both of you do a cover, but you can do different pages inside of that comic. So you can tell a larger amount of the story. If you're doing daily strips, then you and the person coordinate and figure out. One of you should have the Sunday strip be the start, and then both of you do your daily strips, and a story could go back and forth between the two, or the characters could interact somehow in each other's story. And then one of you should have a Sunday strip either in the middle or at the end, because you do 2 weeks of dailies and one Sunday, you do one comic book cover and 2 inside pages. All right, everyone, that's all I got for you. Hope you have a good day, and I will see you next week. Happy May then. Bye-bye.